signs that you're dealing with someone who is narcissistic, somebody who is a person who has a high conflict personality, somebody who has the potential to make your life absolutely miserable. And why is it important that you, if you're here, you contemplate what some of those signs may be? I think it's important because it's the same reason that you want to know what a pothole is in the middle of the road. You want to be able to acknowledge there's a pothole up ahead and I should avoid this. I talk about this in Quantum Tools to help you heal your life now. Without you understanding what the signs and symptoms are of a narcissistic person, there is such a potential, especially if you suffer from cognitive dissonance, especially if you suffer from feeling not good enough, especially if you suffer from feeling invisible, especially if you're somebody who is highly agreeable, especially if you're somebody who has high empathy. If you're somebody who has high empathy, then you are a target for somebody who is highly narcissistic, because somebody who is highly empathic is oftentimes they bypass their own intuition and they seek to understand the other person first. How beautiful is that? How wonderful is that? That there are people that walk amongst us that seek to understand first and argue later, that seek to understand other people in our lives before they seek to judge us or criticize us. We all need people like that in our life. And most of us who struggle with abandonment trauma, who have grown up feeling invisible, who grew up feeling like we don't know who we are. Of course not, you don't know who you are. If you don't have a mother or a father or some significant other in your life giving you worth, telling you you are enough, just as you are enough, you don't have any sense of self, and that's not your fault. So when you're 30 and you're 40 and you're 50, 60, 70, and 80, I coach people well into their 80s. You could go your entire lifetime and not know who you are. And to me, that is just so sad. It is so unnecessary. And I don't think it's, the word fair doesn't, it's not the greatest word in the world to use to explain this. But damn it, when you're born to an unhealthy environment, you are born behind the 8 ball. Your subconscious mind is wired for hypervigilance. Your subconscious mind is wired for when's the next shoe gonna fall. You are not wired for abundance. You are not wired for happiness. You are not wired for self-love. You are not wired for self-compassion. You are wired for being highly critical of yourself. You are wired for the next problem. You are wired for distrust. You are wired for self-preservation. You are wired to fear criticism, to fear being vulnerable. Even though you might want to feel like you want to get close to people, you will be terrified. And so you'll wear a mask. You'll become what you think that other person needs you to be. It's just not fair. When you're dealing with a high conflict personality, it's critical that if you understand, you have to understand you first. Know thyself first. If you know that you struggle with codependency, that your mood changes when other people's moods change, when you know that you're hypervigilant, and so if somebody walks into the room that you feel connected to and they have a puss on their face, you immediately think, what have I done? What have I done? They must be mad at me. Your mind goes off. That's complex trauma. Why? Because that's a survival skill. When your mother stonewalled you, when she stopped talking to you, when she gaslit you, when she raged at you, your little mind had to figure out, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? It's created a subconscious pattern in you. It's a faulty cognitive distortion, but it's your programming. It's your neurological programming. You go through life with this disposition, this hypervigilant disposition, and it's not your fault. However, if you don't awaken, and hopefully you are awakening, maybe that's why you're here. I mean, it's no accident. I don't believe in coincidences. It's no accident that you're here. It's no accident that I hope you follow the channel. I hope that you put notifications on. I hope that you're on the personal development journey, the inner child healing journey. I hope you understand complex trauma or seek to understand complex trauma, because damn it, it is the crux of everything. It is codependency. It is narcissism. It is attachment issues, you name it. It is anxiety, it is depression, it is low self-worth. You just eating disorders, it's addiction. If you have complex trauma, you will more than likely suffer with some type of an addiction, a chemical addiction, an emotional addiction, an addiction to other people, an addiction to approval. When you don't get that approval, you plummet. That is not your fault, because you associate dopamine hits with approval. So you keep twisting yourself into a pretzel, keep twisting yourself into a pretzel. For what? For this external validation that we have to help you break that addiction to. So part of a lot of reason why people follow my channel is because I talk a lot about narcissism, but I also talk about narcissism in the context of they are who they are and they're not going to change. And that's not where your power is. Understanding them, yes, great. Understand them so you can identify them, just like you would identify a pothole in the road. And you, because you're a seasoned driver, know that you must avoid the potholes. Same reason. You study narcissism so that you can avoid them, so you can spot them. Very important. But that's not where your power is. That's part of your power, but your true power comes from healing the wounds that made you vulnerable to them in the first place. Healing the cognitive dissonance, right? If you don't feel good enough, a narcissist is going to make you feel good enough and then make you feel not good enough. Now you're hooked. Now you're hooked. You have a cognitive bias towards this narcissist. They see me, they love me, I trust them. No, you can't. No, you can't. So what'll happen is they want you to trust them. Now you have their approval, and now you feel seen, and it's an addiction. You're flowing oxytocin in your brain in a way that you've never flown it before, because you've been flowing cortisol due to abandonment issues, the fear of disapproval, but you don't know that. So now when you meet someone who's like love bombing you and flattering you, trying to be super helpful, you don't even know this person, right? They get to know you, they infiltrate your life. They suddenly know your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. They want to know everything about you. They listen intently, not because they care, but because they want you to tell them all your secrets. Why? They're putting it in a file cabinet, and because of their narcissism, because when they feel like they're losing control over you, they have to pull out that weapon and use it against you, right? And so this is very serious. If you don't see these signs, you don't know when it's happening to you. You can spend decades in a narcissistically abusive relationship. You could have a narcissistic parent, never know how to go no contact, never know how to go minimal contact, never develop a boundary. And now you're the one taking care of them into their 80s and their 90s, and they're still abusing you. So you want to head this off at the pass. You want to understand it now. You want to understand how being raised by a narcissist and how people who have abused you and exploited you have created cognitive dissonance inside of you, and how they've molded you because of your vulnerabilities and your wounds, so that they can use you as a source of narcissistic supply. Very important. But I wanted to share the number one early sign that you need to look out for, just like you'd look out for a pothole, right? Just like you'd look out for a crack in the foundation of a home that you're looking to buy, right? Just like you would walk into your house, and if you smell gas, you know that that's a warning sign. So when you spot this early, you hedge these relationships off at the pass, hopefully. The number one sign that I have finally figured out, right, is that a high conflict person is somebody who will always escalate a conversation, escalate a conflict, escalate your emotions versus de-escalate. Now, in comparison to somebody who is more empathic, somebody who is more emotionally intelligent, right? Compared to somebody who is more concerned about keeping the peace or just doesn't want this to get bigger, the number one sign of that you need to watch out for is, who are the people in your life that stir the pot? Who are the people that needle you and needle others? Who are the people that when something's going on in your family, they pour gasoline on the fire? They might not have anything to do with what's going on, but they're the person in the experience that escalates it. They escalate it. Then sit back and look at the people who are like trying to de-escalate it. And I don't mean toxic positivity. There's a huge difference between codependency, slipping it under the rug, and toxic positivity versus someone who's just like, there may be other options here, or this person isn't here to defend themselves, or maybe we should have this conversation when the emotions aren't so high. That is not a toxic positive person. That's an emotionally intelligent person. That is somebody who's objective. That is somebody who can emotionally regulate. So my number one sign of spotting someone who is going to be a pain in my ass in my life is somebody who escalates versus de-escalates. If you want a healthier life or a happier life, a more fulfilling life, because let's face it, life is, we're not going to be here forever. We will draw our last breath. Our breaths are valuable. The older you get, trust me, turn 60 in March, the older you get, the less you want to share breath with people who look to needle you and who want to needle other people. It is a low vibration. It is a scarcity vibration. And everybody, whether conscious or not, are going to reap what they sowed. So it's really important that we check ourselves. We make sure we're not the escalator in the relationship. We're somebody who is emotionally regulating. We're somebody who is getting out early. We're somebody who's setting boundaries. We're somebody who's soothing our inner child. We are somebody who is working at breaking the addiction to approval. We're working at giving people permission to dislike us, to disagree with us, to judge us. Namaste, walk away, shutty, bye Felicia, all right? We're somebody who is learning how to take care of ourselves. Even though we know these minions and these goblins and these flying monkeys exist, we're choosing not to tango with them. So we're soothing the self and we're soothing the self. These are the life skills that we have to learn, especially adult children of alcoholics, adult children of emotionally immature parents, adult children of narcissists. We have to learn how to do this. And so I hope that this helps you and I hope that it serves you. Start to detach, step back, make a list of the people in your life that stir the pot. And there's a pervasive pattern of, you probably know at least one person. Make a list of the people in your life that escalate versus the people in your life that de-escalate. The people in your life that throw gasoline on the fire and the people that say, hey, maybe there's another way to look at this. That is going to absolutely save you so much time and so much drama. It won't solve your problems, but it'll give you a little bit of space for you to like think about what's happening before you engage with this person and get yourself, pulled into a boxing ring that you don't want to be in. Remember, people who are high conflict are also low vibration. And if you're high vibrating, their goal is to pull you down to their vibration. Just be careful, dear ones, because vibrations are resonance, and we can only attract at our level of frequency and our level of emotional intelligence. I'm here to tell you there is a better way. I hope this has been helpful. I want to let everybody know I'm doing a 3-day challenge inside my Facebook group. I believe we have a pinned post inside on the YouTube channel that you can go ahead and join. I'll be in Boone, North Carolina, May 16th, 17th, and 18th for an inner child workshop. And my next 12-week breakthrough coaching program goes live in July. If you want to learn more, go to www.lisaramano.com. And I will see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me live, and I hope this has been helpful. Whoops. Sorry about that, dear ones.